Hey guys, welcome to the fifth episode of Coffee with Impetus. Today we got PB Plumber with us, who is also called Pete. If you don't know him, he is from the UK and a gas engineer. I missed a little bit of the clip recording from the beginning, so this is a quick introduction about him, and we're going to move right away to the next clip about us talking about Instagram and his daily life and his work. So I'll see you guys in a bit.
It's one of the worst things about social media.
Yeah, I know. That's what social media is always like. They just blast you for stuff that they do over somewhere else, and then they think that you're doing it wrong. That's the
Yeah.
gist of it. So, how long have you been doing plumbing and heating?
So I'm 30. I was born in '82. So what does that make me? 38. And I started when I was 17. So 21 years now.
21 years. Holy crap. You know what? It sounds kind of long, but for me, like, I look kind of young, but I've actually been doing it for over a decade as well. So, 21 years goes by really fast.
It really does. Yeah.
Has it always been like a family business for plumbing, or
Yeah. My granddad was a plumber as well.
wow.
I was looking to work with him when I was a kid. In the summer holidays. So you break off school, you go and do a bit of work, earn a bit of pocket money. So I was lucky enough to work with him doing that. Unfortunately, he died in 2000 no, 99. He died in 1999.
Okay. That's How old was he?
He's a good age. He had a heart attack.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry to hear.
he was a good age.
Well, stuff like that happen. Sometimes you can't control it, but when your time's here, your time's here. As long as he lived a good life, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so So did you like it when you first started it, or was it always something that you just built to kind of like afterwards?
No. I've always liked it. The thing is, my dad didn't want me to do it,
Really?
uh, and I don't know if because he wanted me to do something different or maybe better. Saying that carefully. Um, and I did go and I got when I did my A levels at school, and then I was going to go to university to do product design, like design technology. But I took a year out, and once I started working and earning money, I didn't
Yeah.
want to go back. Didn't want to go back to school. So then he offered me an apprenticeship. So
So do you still do anything on behind the scenes of doing that product and technology design kind of thing, or no?
well, that kind of ties in with the. I know we're going to talk about it later, but the tool bag I've just designed. I guess that's
Oh, that's sweet. That actually ties into
yeah,
what you're doing to today. I mean, I guess that's part of what you like doing as well.
yeah, that and plastic box.
So when I look at your Instagram every day, I see a lot of boilers and you bending copper every day. I guess that's just something you. Is that all the volume of calls that you get that are around boilers, or is that something that you just want to do almost every day?
It's probably one of the most common things I get called out to. That and probably toilets that aren't working properly. But how many times can you put a toilet on Instagram? Fixing a toilet, there's not that much to it. So the reason you see more boiler stuff is because it's a bit more interesting,
That's true.
and there's more scope for me to sort of pass on knowledge because there's so many different brands of boiler in this country, so many different things that can go wrong with them. It's just free content for me. 'Cause I'm
That
out there
is.
fixing.
I mean, there's so much content of that, and it never gets boring because that copper that you bend, it's something else. It's definitely something else.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dying art because a lot of the trouble with the UK is you're pricing against other trades, and they are not the good ones, but the sort of not so good ones are so cheap that the good guys are getting priced out. People are getting bad work, but they don't realise it. So taking the time to bend the pipe, whereas the next guy's going to come along and put a piece of plastic in or use a fitting,
Yeah.
pricing yourself out. But I'm lucky that I work because I love it. I don't work to
For the
earn
strictly for the
money.
money.
Yeah.
So
So I
do you ever dabble while you do that boiler stuff? Do you ever dabble into drain cleaning? I'm actually curious about this because I've never. See, you say you fix toilets, but do you ever do clogs or anything like that?
Not really. I'm of the opinion if it's not in my sort of expertise, then get the guy who is an expert. And I know a guy who lives in the same village as me. He's a drainage guy, so I just say get Pedro out for stuff like that.
That's
It's
good.
like,
It's always helping each other out, right? You send him some calls and he sends you calls as well.
yeah.
That's awesome. But I do know there is something you hate doing because you always talk about it in your story. And if I'm right about this, you always say you hate doing shower pans or like the silicone around the tubs. Why do you hate it?
There's a pandemic in the UK of people who don't fit them properly. So what they do is they don't seal behind it, so they leave a gap between where the shower tray cubicle meets the shower tray or bath.
Yeah.
Anytime it fails and water gets in there, it leaks through. But the other thing they do is they glue it to the wall.
Oh shit.
So if you come to one that's leaking, you've got to get it out, and they've glued the wall with God knows what. You've then got to try and get that off without damaging the tiles, and you can spend 2 or 3 hours trying to get that off. I just hate it. Life's too short to do them, but.
So do you actually try to get them off, or do you just like kind of cut them and then afterwards just re-silicone the thing and call it a day, or do you actually replace the whole thing?
No, I'm trying to get it off so I can reseal it properly and refit it. But sometimes 2 or 3 hours just trying to get the thing off. Yeah.
It becomes longer than your boiler calls, and then you actually make less with that.
It becomes longer. I get angrier. Yeah.
There are some things I hate doing too, and let me tell you, those shower pans are one of the things I don't like as well. I always try to dodge them, or I just tell owners that we don't install them because those things are just shit. I rather tile the whole floor than really try to set a pan in.
I mean, if you want to have a good time at work, you've got to do the jobs that you like doing. There's no point going to work and doing jobs you really hate, because then you're going to start hating the job.
Yeah, you do it for the job that you like, not for the money. That's what that's what really drives.
But if you are doing it for the money, you choose your most profitable job, and you do that as many times as you can, as often as you can, if you want to make the money. Spending 2 or 3 hours messing around with a shower cubicle is not going to earn you any money. Yeah.
It's going to make you go home angry.
Yeah.
So, taking a spin back to where we talk about Instagram again, I do see that, you're working on something about velocity bags, which you just talked about earlier, about your product and technology design. So what's something that you can tell us about that?
So probably for the last 5-6 years, I've thought that I could design a good kit bag, a good tool bag. And I've used all different kinds of tool bags over my 21 years, from the cheap ones up to the premium ones. And I've always thought I could do a good job of that. And I met the guys from Velocity, because they're based in the UK quite near to me.
Oh.
And they were showing me their bags. And I just mentioned it that, I wanted to do one. And they said, well, let's see what we can do together. So they rang me, we had a chat about it, and I actually went to their unit, met them with a few sort of things I'd drawn, and their designer Tony took my drawings and came up with a prototype, and then we sort of started developing it from there. And then I was lucky enough, they took me to China. We went to see where they're made, meet 3 or 4 different designers till I found one that I was happy to work with. And then we sat with the prototype and basically just brainstormed over it, told them what I wanted, what I didn't want. And then from there, we had 2 more sample bags made that came to me in the UK, which I then critiqued again, made some changes, and then we finally got the finished one this month. This month,
actually?
Yeah.
So is it going to come into production soon, or are we...
Now, people were able to pre-order it this weekend just gone. So the pre-orders, people have already ordered it, and it should be in the country the 1st of July.
Wow. So what makes this product so different about how you're doing this bag? I haven't seen it myself, but I know you have been working on it. But what are some key features that we can actually talk about that you can disclose before people get their hands on it?
you want to see the bag, there's videos on my page. But basically, when I was an apprentice, my favourite tool bag was made by DeWalt. It was DeWalt ballistic bag. So it's a square bag with pockets around the outside, but on the inside, the pockets weren't great. They were like pieces of elastic.
Mm.
So I took the sort of things I loved about that bag and then improved on it, and then added things that over the years I've come to think that we need in a tool bag. So one of the things, a lot of the premium bags these days, everything's vertical storage, which is good to keep your bag organized. But in plumbing, not all your tools are the right shape for a vertical storage pocket. You know, there's a lot of smaller things, thick things, things like hammers, long screwdrivers you can't get in these tool bags. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You've got a nice, strong, square kit bag that if you want to sit on and have your lunch, or if you need to jump up and fix something above your head, you can jump on it. With loads of storage options for your hand tools, but then a bigger central area if you want to chuck the drill in, if you want to chuck bigger kit or spare part that you're going to fit on a boiler, chuck it in your bag. Dedicated work mat that comes in the bag, so you've not got to think about carrying a work mat as an extra. It's in the bag ready for you.
So there's a work mat that comes with the bag too.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually haven't. Like, I know you've been doing it, but I haven't been keeping a lot of touch on it. But that's awesome. That's awesome to know, actually, because when we were working, I started looking at work mats too that we specifically print for our own logos. So then when we work, we can put a mat out, have our logo on there, and then put all our tools, because you don't want to be putting those on countertops or on your customers' floors.
Exactly, yeah. So just a little that I thought that would be useful, and hopefully when they go out into the world and people start using them, they think it's as good as I think it is.
My bag just got stolen, so I know that I'm gonna be buying a Velocity next because you endorse it.
Well, I endorse. I do a lot of like reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
But what I try and do is don't have any like paid promotion stuff. Just do what I think people will like.
Yeah.
So
And honest reviews.
So this, obviously I've done a bag with Velocity because they gave me the opportunity in the local. But if, let's say, Vito bring out a bag next month that I think is amazing, you'll see that on my page, and I'll tell people I think it's amazing. So it's nice to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and not be,
to kind of give back to the community of how you kind of felt throughout your whole apprentice, and then be able to kind of fix those issues that you've kind of run across on certain bags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's definitely an opportunity that I would take.
Like a once in a lifetime thing for me, because I am just a plumber in a small in the UK, and now through good luck or whatever, I've got this opportunity to design a kit bag, which is something I've always wanted to do. So I made up with it.
That's sweet. So these kit bags, I just want to go a little bit deeper because I'm interested myself. Are they more for, let's say, day-to-day kind of service things, to service boilers, more so that, I need a specific bag so that I can fit specific tools? Or did you kind of design it to be more versatile so that, as you said earlier, you can have irregular shapes of plumbing tools to fit in there as well, that I can kind of set up for a plumbing side?
I would call it a general kit bag. So it's for if you want to load it with plumbing gear, electrical gear. You could even use it as a fishing bag. It's just a well-designed bag that you can, make it to suit whatever trade you're in. I think now that I've done this, I might see if we can then go to doing something like a technician's bag or a servicing bag specific. Because we still solder a lot in the UK, a soldering bag for your blowtorch and your tools.
Do you actually, that's a question that kind of comes up to my head as well. So do you guys even get close to pressing any copper now, or is it kind of still a norm to do bending and soldering still?
The norm is bending and soldering. The commercial guys, the bigger pipes, they're into pressing. and the pressings, it's just starting to move over to domestic for the smaller size pipe work. But the thing that stops people getting into it is the price, because you've got the price of the tool and the
Price of
fittings.
the fittings. I think it'll slowly catch up, but do you ever think that you'll move into press, or do you think like you're gonna be bending for life?
I think I'll be bending for life because I think of it as a skill and an art. But I am moving into press, and when you've got a job where you need to get done, you need to get home, pressing so fast,
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, I used to solder a lot. It's just that for press nowadays, it's actually helped the business to move faster, even though, the fittings are more expensive. But, a lot of situations that we do run into, press has been a savior, especially when we have water still running on a lot of our systems. So, on that side, it has helped us a lot. Sorry, that's a weird silence over there. But there was a guy that. Are you still here, PB?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. There's a guy that actually asked a question at the same time about when you bend your copper and doing all that, to make it that much nicer than your other installers that come in to do the work with plastic. When you do these jobs, do you quote for that kind of quality at the same time, or is it something that you kind of add in within the competitive pricing just so that it's something that you're proud of to do?
It's a little bit of both, but the thing is, I know it looks great, but it literally is. You're piping the bender and you bend it. It doesn't take any time. Once you get good at it,
Yeah.
second, you do it and it's fast. So although it looks nice and you might think, wow, that must have taken him ages, it's not. It's fast.
I mean,
And
to
you're
you,
not.
it probably does. That's why you've been doing it for so long. But for me, if I were to bend copper, I'd probably bend it wrong.
Yeah. No, it is all down to practice makes perfect experience. But once you get it down, you're bending 90s just without even checking them. You know it's 90. It's faster. Then you've not got a joint to solder. You've done it, and you can move on to the next bit. So, but yeah, the guys that are doing copper solder are going to come out higher price than the guys that are slinging in plastic. You do have to be careful, because if you really want the job, pricing to do copper, you're probably not going to get it.
So you don't do plastic because you don't like it, or is there something that other than the heating side of it? Is it just a cheaper look for you, or is it just kind of something that you're not into?
I don't know. I've kind of inherited my dad's sort of the way he did things, so we've always done copper. There's nothing. I've not got nothing against plastic. If you need to get some pipes under floors, and you can pull lengths of plastic for miles. There's places for it, but I wouldn't ever do plastic sort of on show above ground level where you can see it. I just don't think it's right.
That's pretty sweet. For the copper you guys bend, actually, another question would be, is it usually hard drawn copper, or is it soft copper? Like, what kind of type copper is it on your side?
Yeah. People always ask me this because I think it's different where you are, but we have half hard. So it comes in lengths, rigid, 3 meter lengths.
Yeah.
But it is bent. It's soft enough to be able to bend it. It's not fully like you have hard and soft. It's somewhere in the middle. It's cable X copper is what we use.
Cable X copper. Okay, I gotta definitely come over there one day. You gotta show me how to bend that stuff, because I'm definitely interested.
Come to you.
Pardon?
You come here, then I'll come to you.
Oh, okay. That's a deal. I mean, when COVID's over, I'm definitely going in.
Yeah.
Aside from all those questions I sent you, I actually had another question. Like, how for people who don't know, I think UK's been affected as well, but how's that affected you for your day-to-day work on your end?
So if you say on average a day, I would do 10 calls pre-COVID, and now it's 10 calls per day.
Wow.
Would be an average day. Obviously, if you've got a bigger job, that comes down, but normal day, 10 jobs a day. And at the minute, some days I've had nothing to do. Some days I've had 2 or 3 jobs. Today I've done 4. So it's slowed down to say maybe 30% of my normal workload.
Yeah, has it been picking back up lately?
Been picking back up just lately, yeah. Just getting a bit better now.
Do you have those customers that are kind of scared and at the same time ask you if you're going to be wearing a mask, or like if you're wearing gloves, or if you're sanitize your tools and all that kind of stuff, or people?
No, I've not had anyone that I've had people when they've opened the door sort of step back, you know, stayed the 2 meter distance, stayed out my way. But no one's specifically asked me to do anything with regards to sanitation or anything like that. I'm wearing gloves. I've got my mask. I'm doing it anyway, but they're not asking me to do it.
That's good. I mean, it's to make them feel safe, and that's all you got to do, right? Sometimes it's about the customer more than it's about you. So looking at Instagram, I think I sent you another photo earlier today. So I just want to talk a little bit about it that I'm going to show the viewers over here. We have you sleeping in the van over here. And
Yeah.
I like to do this section because it's kind of like Hot Ones, where I talk about back in the day searching down your Instagram, and I did find a picture of you PTFO. What what happened there? Like, were you passed out, and who's taking that picture of you?
So we went to, I think we went to Liverpool, which is about 4 hour drive. So we had to be there for 9 a.m. in the morning. So we left at 5 a.m.
Holy crap!
We worked a full day. We did a charity install in a church, sort of for homeless people. So a big group of engineers from all over the UK drove up to Liverpool. We did a full central heating system, new boiler, new radiators, all in a day. Got it all done. Went to the pub, had a few drinks, and then drove home. And that was on the drive home. So
Wow.
being up at 5 a.m., working all day, I was completely knackered. I said to the guy, as soon as we get in the van to go home, I'm going to fall asleep. I knew I would.
And that's exactly what happened. That's really nice of you that you do all these charity things as well. Like, do you actively look to do these things all the time to just give back to the community?
Yeah, if there's one going and I find out about it, I try and go and help out. It's
Because
not, and it's just such a nice feeling. Everyone's high spirits. It's real. If you ever get a chance to do one, I can't describe the feeling, but it's just a real good feel good day. And then obviously you get to help out someone in need.
that's
The
awesome.
Arsenal.
I've been looking at it actually because I have a little group of BC plumbers here that I work with a lot too, and those are one of the things that we want to touch up on in the future of doing some charity events at the same time to kind of give like a boiler system or something for people who are less fortunate. So
Yeah.
definitely trying to work on towards that, and I think I will know what you're talking about or feeling one day. Um, but you got to try to know.
You go to the trade shows, don't you? You meet up with like Eric from Mechanical
Yep.
Hub. And when you get there, you meet, and it's great, isn't it? Imagine going there and then you all go and do a job together, and you just all working together. Imagine how good that would feel.
I would love that if it's a worldwide thing as well, where we can travel somewhere to do it. Because I think a lot of yours is from the UK, right?
Yeah.
And actually, other than these charities that you've been doing, something I want to touch up on today after I got my crap stolen was Novanber. How has that been going for you?
So I started that. If you don't know what that is, by the way, it was a petition to try and get something to be done to help tradesmen who are targeted by tool theft. Really, you can't leave your van anywhere in this country without it being at risk of someone breaking in and stealing your tools. And I just don't think it's fair, because you need the tools to work, to earn a living, to pay for food for your family, to put a roof over their head. For someone to come along, take that from you so you then can't work, I think it's the lowest thing, and it happens all the time. There'll be someone's van now while I'm talking to you getting broken into in the UK. One van every 20 minutes.
Really, it's that
Yeah.
it's drastic.
And no one does anything about it. No one cares.
So when you made that petition, what was that petition about to your government to have them change
Yeah.
things?
Get them to make tougher sentences, maybe tougher fines for anyone caught stealing a tradesman's tools. The trouble with things in this country is you need 100,000 signatures just for them to even say they're going to talk about it. And even if they do talk about it, there's no guarantee that they'll want to do anything about it.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I can't just sit here and let it happen. I want to try and do something. I've got this platform where I've got, these followers. If I can ask them all to sign a petition and maybe get something done about it, it's worth a try.
Has it happened, and have you actually made a mark on that? I'm curious.
No, mate, honestly, nobody cares. Nobody is going to help us.
That is shitty, because I know exactly where you're coming from, because I mean, I haven't fully got anything stolen from us yet, like, thank God, but even for my tools that are like small things, maybe about 1,500 on our end, like it still takes a hit, and it's time and money that we have to go through. And I feel like a lot of people always take that shit for granted, especially for us as business owners. They don't understand that when we have to invest so much into our vehicle so that it doesn't get stolen. Like, I have live GPS tracking on my vehicles. I also have live live GPS, and I can actually shut off my vans anytime that somebody were to get into there and break in. And at the same time, I can also it also tells me when it leaves a geofencing for my vans as well. So a lot of these people don't understand why we're so expensive sometimes, because these are the things that we actually need to pay for to protect our vans.
Yeah. And people say things like, oh, it's fine, you're insured. Have you tried getting an insurance company to pay out for stolen tools?
And you know what? The insurance never even covers the amount that we have invested ourselves, because even for you, I'm sure that you have combustion analyzers, you have a lot of other your high-tech manometers, all those things that you use to service a boiler and maintain them. Those are more than $10,000 within a van. Like,
Yeah.
even for us, we insure up to 10 grand. It doesn't help for crap.
Yeah, and also a lot of tradesmen are second, third generation. I use some of my granddad's tools to this day. They're on my van. If someone steals them, that's gone, and they're priceless to me.
Yeah.
A lot of sentimental value. And people, every time I talk about this on my social media, you'll get someone say, take your tools off the van at night. Don't leave your tools in the van at night. It doesn't just happen at night. You can go to a job, park your van, go into the job, 10 minutes later come out to get something from your van, and all your tools are gone. Broad daylight.
Did that happen to your van actually?
It's happened to my van at work, yeah. I was working in an office, and I just went into the reception area to bleed a radiator, and someone said, is that your grey van in the car park? And I said, yeah. And they just said someone's tried to break into it. So I ran out, and yeah, they'd completely ruined the side door and smashed the back window and took my drills.
Wow, that's devastating.
Of the day.
Like, you must have had locks on there, right? So these guys are talking about professional guys that actually cut your locks and actually, yank your door open to steal this shit.
You can do whatever you want. You can put deadlocks on, slam locks on, extra alarms, whatever. They will find a way. They cut a hole in the roof, and they'll drop in through the roof.
Holy crap,
mate! They're animals. Honestly.
Dude. And has it actually gotten worse since COVID? Because I know for my area, ever since COVID happened, we've actually had like tremendous increase in crime, even like in the safest parts where I live in.
Yeah, I'm on a lot of like local groups, like neighborhood watch and things, and there's been a lot more reports of like 3 o'clock in the morning, saw a suspicious character looking in car windows and things like that.
It's always that time. I've been starting to join those groups myself and become a vigilante myself after it happened to me, last week, because I'm pissed off, not because of the tools I've lost, because of what you're saying, the sentimental values of tools I've used for over a decade, and at the same time, just finding out the neighborhood is kind of getting dangerous is where I need to take a stand for it as the younger guys.
And another way to look at it, so imagine a young guy, 23, 24 years old, decides I'm going to go out on my own, gets his own van, gets his tools, starts working for a while, earning a bit of money, getting a feel for the job. And then he does a job and it doesn't go so well. Maybe they don't pay him. So he's struggling for money. maybe, I don't know, he's got a newborn baby, so he's not sleeping well, he's stressed, he's fallen out with his missus, whatever. There's something going on in his life where he's not 100% happy. And then he wakes up one morning and he goes out to his van and
Terrible.
and he's going to think, what do I do? I've got no money, I've got this problem, I've got this problem. You're going to get guys either becoming depressed or worse, suicidal, because of tool theft. It's a really serious thing, and I just feel like someone needs to do something about it.
It is. I think if you were back then, Chris got his tool stolen on our end, right in front of his house, smashed his car and everything. And at that one point when he's still an apprentice right now, but he just started off and got all his tools and he got his shit stolen. He actually got to the point of thinking, hey, maybe I shouldn't go back into plumbing because now all my crap is gone. But
Yeah.
It's really nice that we still have the community that would help us when we have tools lost or anything that happens, such as natural disasters. I think it was Tiny Plumber Girl. I think she had a disaster. I forgot which one it was, but one of them had a disaster where she was flooded as well, and a lot of people come out from the community to really donate to that cause.
Yeah, it's nice when you things like that happen. It just restores a bit of your faith in humanity, doesn't it?
It does, and I think going on to Instagram for so long, I think it's awesome that we've met so many people that we can actually relate to, and at the same time see their work and see how things are done across the world. And that's how I met you.
Well, yeah, and there's some really good people out there. Like I met you. We were just following each other, and you sent me this awesome T-shirt.
Still looking spick and span.
Wear it for work. I didn't wear it tonight because it's black and it's quite dark out, and I didn't know if it would work. And then you also hooked me up with this cap.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that for me, and you did that for me. I thought that was really cool.
I gotta send you my own hat too next time.
Yeah, you got some good merchandise. I've seen you've had a few things made with your name on.
I do, and I'm going to put a quick plug in there. So if you guys look at the Twitch stream at the bottom, I actually got a store that's up front right now. So if you guys are looking for Impetus swag, you guys can pick that stuff up there. Hey, so let's talk about something personal. We got a little bit of time left, and I think you play sports at the same time with I Love Plumber, don't you? I think was it rugby you guys play, or is it soccer? Because I know you guys had a picture or something of you guys together. Or am I wrong about that?
No, Andy does. He sponsors his local football team.
Ah.
But I do quite a lot with Andy because we're good mates. We're not too far away, about an hour in the car. So when we get time, we sort of link up. But a lot of the time, if we go into trade shows, they're in London.
Yeah.
And literally, he has to drive past my house to get to London. So he'll pick me up, and then we just have a laugh. We obviously we're in the car together. We're talking about plumbing and we're having a joke. And then when we get to the shows, we go out together. So
that's perfect. You're both great guys. What about IRB? I actually wanted to ask about that too because I saw the funniest video. It was the funniest shit I've seen the other day when you told him he was gay.
Okay. He's IRB, such a nice guy, and he's very, very good at his job. He's one of the best.
How did you meet him? Was that through Instagram as well?
That was through Twitter, and then again we met at a trade show. So when you go to look at different products, new boilers, things like that, you've been chatting on social media, so Instagram or Twitter in my case with Ian, and then you just say, oh, when we get there, we'll say hello, and then just become friends.
Are you planning on doing some overseas travel soon to come onto any of the trade shows over here in the States?
Well, when COVID hit in March, I was meant to be going to the world's biggest tool fair, which was in Germany. I was meeting Nampel.
Yeah.
That got cancelled because of the COVID. But yeah, I'd love to come over to one in America.
Maybe I think Ish might be still on for next year. Do you ever go to Ish?
Yeah, I went to Ish year before last. Well, I went the last 2 times, so I'll definitely be going to that.
Oh, that'll be definitely a good one to see you at. I hope it's not canceled for next year, and I do hope it does clear up, because it'd be a good time to meet more of the UK guys and anybody around the world.
Yeah, it is good.
So I think there's a few things that people don't know out there that I do like to share because me and you have been going off about a lot of anime that we watch. So I don't know or think a lot of viewers do know that you have that side within you, but tell the guys a little bit about what you like to watch and what we've been discussing actually.
Yeah, it's tricky because I like it, but I don't know what I'm gonna like. So I sort of tend to start watching one, and then this isn't for me, so then I move on to the next one. I started on the Ghibli stuff back in the day, so Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke is my absolute favorite. I love that one. Um, just recently, One Punch Man, I loved that.
Oh yeah, that one was good.
Yeah, I loved that. The one you recommended, Seven Deadly Sins,
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that. And people think it's strange, like a grown man, 38-year-old man likes watching cartoons, but they don't get it.
Hey, they don't. It's a normal thing. I think it's a really good thing that a lot of people need to get into because
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that the Japanese can really touch just by doing cartoons, and it almost makes it so real sometimes that it's relatable.
yeah. It's like the animated section in Kill Bill. I think is it Kill Bill, the first Kill Bill or Kill Bill 2. It's really good, like sort of anime in that. But yeah, I asked you because I thought if you're into it, you might say to me, Pete, you got to watch this one. And if I don't get a recommendation, how would I ever know it was out there?
Yeah. Oh, I love them. I think the next one I told you to watch was Demon Slayer. So if anybody in the viewers are actually interested in watching anime, real good one at the end of this year or 2019 was Demon Slayer, and I'd really recommend you still watch that after I sent you that link. I think you'll love that one. So I think that's all the time we got today because I always make these ones about 20 to 30 minutes long. So I do appreciate you coming today, Pete. It meant a lot to me, especially I know it's late over there. What time is it over there? 12 was it 12:40 now?
Yeah, so about 20 to 1 in the morning.
Yeah. And you probably are you going back to work tomorrow in the morning?
Yeah, yeah. I'll be up
Awesome.
at about 10 to 7 in the morning, so
Awesome.
still good.
Well, I do appreciate your time here. We don't have to end the stream, but we're going to be ending the recording for Coffee of Impetus because usually we put the segments, a bit more clumped up so then everybody can get that information. They're not watching a full hour video. But thank you guys for again this week for joining Coffee of Impetus with PB Plumber and I. If Pete, do you have anything else to say before you go or anything that you want to promote or talk about that's happening around what you're doing?
Nothing to promote, just a message I always like to give to people. When you're on social media, whatever you're doing, just be kind to other people. If you've not got anything nice to say, don't say it.
That's an awesome advice for everybody out there. And I also think the same because that shit's important. It really affects people sometimes. A lot of people say it doesn't affect them. But when that comment comes sometimes it does hit you in a slight way where you just want to smack that guy in the face. But you do
If
have to
if
watch.
you worked really hard on a job and you're proud of it, then you should be able to put it out there without judgment.
Yep.
The slightest little negative comment, if you've put your heart and soul into that job, it's going to hurt you. Why would you intentionally want to hurt another person, especially someone you don't know? If you've got some constructive criticism, you can send them a private message. You can DM them and say, look, that job you did, it's a great job, but you should have done this, or you might want to do this next time privately, so you're not showing them up in front of other people.
Yeah.
Just encourage people. It's nice for other people to do well, and it's nice to encourage other people to do well.
Yeah. A lot of people criticize, but they don't give you the words of encouragement of telling you how to do it better. Like I rather people like there's stupid shit that I post that I rather them tell me, hey, you didn't do it wrong, you should do it right, instead of saying, oh, this is why you're an idiot. Like what the
Yeah.
hell? It just comes out of nowhere. But anyway, thank you for that advice, Pete. I think it's really important. And again, thank you guys for joining Coffee of Impetus today. Next week we have another special guest, which I will not talk about yet. You guys will see on the poster. And thanks, Pete, for being with us tonight. And that's the end for Coffee with Impetus.